You walk to your car, and the replay started before the door even clicked shut. You agonize over the pause where you lost your train of thought, or the joke that landed half a second too late. By the time you get home, you've built an airtight case against yourself. You were awkward, and they couldn't wait to get away from you. Meanwhile, across town, the person you were talking to is driving home with a completely different review of that exact same 20 minutes. They are replaying the conversation too, but warmly. They are thinking about how much they enjoyed your company and hoping you liked them back. Two people walking away from the identical conversation with wildly different scorecards. So which of you is actually reading the room correctly? Psychologists have a name for this specific blind spot. They call it the liking gap. That stark distance between what you are convinced happened and what actually occurred reveals a documented, measurable illusion that distorts social reality for almost everyone. A team of researchers led by Erica Boothby decided to test this. They brought strangers into a lab, paired them up, and let them talk. Afterward, each person privately rated two things: how much they liked their partner and how much they assumed their partner liked them back. This diagram shows what they found. The estimated impact bar hovers at 5. The partner's actual rating shoots to 8. And it wasn't a fluke. Conversation after conversation, the data reveals people genuinely enjoy each other far more than assumed. You might suspect the lab environment caused this, that these were just nervous strangers being exceedingly polite in a sterile room. But the researchers tested this in the real world too. They tracked first-year college students living in dorms over an entire school year, and they studied adults at personal development workshops. The gap showed up everywhere. It appeared between strangers and among soon-to-be friends. It emerged in highly confident people. And while the gap naturally narrows over months of getting to know someone, it never fully closes. Because high confidence doesn't cure it, we know this problem stems from a mechanical failure in how human beings perceive real-time social data, rather than a lack of self-worth. To understand why this happens, picture two strangers chatting at a dinner party. During the exchange, the first person is barely watching their partner. Instead, they are running a harsh, real-time color commentary on their own performance. They are frantically scribbling mental notes. Did that sound dumb? Am I talking too much? Should I have laughed there? The second person is experiencing something entirely different. They are oblivious to that internal panic. They are leaning in, smiling, and asking questions because they genuinely enjoy the chat and want to keep it going. The story you tell yourself about how a conversation went is built almost entirely out of your own anxious inner monologue, completely disconnected from the shared reality of the actual room. The researchers proved this illusion with a clever test. They brought in third-party, completely neutral observers to watch recordings of these interactions. These were people with zero skin in the game. Those outside observers easily read the mutual warmth. They could clearly see that both people were having a great time. The connection was right there on the surface. It was visible to literally everyone in the room, except for the two people actually trapped inside the conversation. This glitch ruins the conversations you've already had, and it quietly cancels the ones you never start. We constantly forecast our social lives using this faulty data. It costs the new coworker who eats lunch alone for 3 weeks out of fear that the team finds him forgettable. It costs the post-grad friendship that fades into silence because both people assume the other has moved on. It costs the second date that never gets asked for because someone talked themselves out of it in the parking lot. For those prone to social anxiety, this diagram shows how the cycle becomes especially cruel. The more deeply you desire to connect with a specific person, the louder your inner critic gets. That loud critic distorts your reality even further, which loops right back into making you feel isolated. Caring more makes you read the room worse. The true tragedy here lies in two people genuinely clicking, but lacking the ability to bring themselves to believe it. But you can break this loop. Start by recognizing the actual dynamic across from you. The person you are talking to is secretly just as worried about being judged as you are. They are also terrified of their own pauses and awkward jokes. Next, intellectually acknowledge that the liking gap exists. When that post-conversation trial begins in your head, stop and consciously label the inner critic. That voice is a frightened narrator, not a factual witness to the event. You don't have to argue with it. You just have to stop treating its opinion as fact. Then take your eyes off yourself. Stop trusting your internal feelings and start looking for external data. Did they lean in? Did they laugh the kind of laugh that catches them off guard? Did they ask a follow-up question? Those physical signals deal in reality. Finally, think about the grace you effortlessly extend to others. When someone fumbles a sentence in front of you, you don't file it away as proof they are a disaster. You find it human. Other people are extending that exact same grace to you. You are the only person holding yourself to a standard no one else applies. Override the glitch. The next time you walk away from a conversation, simply assume you were liked and act accordingly. The empirical evidence proves that you were.